Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another what do you call it? Um some creepypasta readings. Today I'm going to be reading some really bad ones that I found over here at creepypasta.com. Um it's it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Hopefully we find some juicy ones. I'm completely blind here, by the way, for some of these. I don't really know, though I might look for some of the really like for certain ones. Like for example, I want to find what do you call it? Sonic.exe. That one's gonna be a really really bad one and really fun one to watch. So let's find that one, okay? Also, let's get some more appropriate music. I got some creepy what was it, Kevin McLeod music, which is copyright free, so I don't have to worry about that. And it's pretty much what all the other people uh, put on when whenever they read creepypastas. So let's get started with the creepypasta. Yeah, yes. Uh, let's get ready for some hyper realistic blood. So I got my phone over here, right? No model today, right? So I got my phone over here, right? And I'm on creepypasta.com, and I went from rating all the way to the lowest, like the lowest rating I could. Okay, you guys ready? This one is called Super Mario, the Haunted Slave. I was bored. I was super duper bored. It was January 4th, and my New Year's resolution was to finish all my video games by today. Now, I have done that. Now that I have done that, I have no new things to play. All of the sudden, I got an email on my phone. I opened it. The email had no words in the quote from the bar at the top. The subject was "Get old bootleg SNES cartridges only in today's e-auction." Intrigued at the sound of the new video games, I went to the e-auction. The first few games, I had no clue what they were, so I sort of got bored watching the screen. I was about to close the site when I saw the text saying, quote, "Bootleg Super Mario World" pop up. I decided to get it and won. 2 weeks later, I got the Super Mario World cartridge in the mail. I was once again intrigued when I saw most of the label was torn off of the cartridge. The only letters not torn off were U, E, R, M, R, and D. I immediately put all the letters together and tried to think of something. After a while, I came up with one word. Murder. Obviously, I still put the cartridge in, something I regret to this day. Not that I can feel depressed anymore. After all, doesn't the word in the cartridge say it all? I wasn't going to stop here, but I suppose I can tell you how my fate came to be. After I put the cartridge in, the game started, as a video game does. uh, Everything looked normal, except that the hills and clouds had a slight reddish tinge to them. I opened the file selection, and there was a save file on the game already. The name of the file was Save File 1! Very, very spooky, very spooky, name. I bet you weren't expecting that. Anyways, I loaded the file and went to the level with the first Yoshi in it. It was, I was walking. Oh, hold on. The music stopped. Hold on. Keep watching. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, I loaded the file and went to the level with the first Yoshi in it. I was walking, and as you may expect, I played Super Mario World in some form or another. And all I know that this wasn't here. There was a small, I don't know why A was capitalized. There was a small red hill, a very dark red pipe in the top. The first thing somebody would think would be, something in a video game can't hurt me. It's just a video game. Those people can't keep believing that. At the time, I believed that too. So when I went down the pipe, I thought it would be some bootleg glitch secret. But something was wrong when I was falling for about 30 seconds. When I hit the ground, Bowser was there watching me. I was seriously freaked out. So I lunged up for the power button. All of a sudden, text popped up on the screen saying, no, it's sighing. There's no Y. You wouldn't want to look like that, would you? And the power button was... Wait, what? Oh, he says, you wouldn't want to do that, would you? And the power button was deactivated. Mario and Bowser were on the screen, glaring straight at me. More text pop up saying, you want a surprise? Here. And Bowser pulled a portal gun! And in parentheses it says, lol, smiley face, with the tongue out. He blasted the floor under me, and then he blasted the above lava. You could probably figure out what happened next. To this day, I am a Boo guarding Bowser Castle. My home is the 9th room. If any explorer finds my diary, share my story with the world. Well then, that's that's it. That's the end of the story. Not a long story. Let's get to finding another one. Oh, that was beautiful. Oh, actually, hold on. Let's read some of the comments for this story from Redbox. This is so bad that it's good. 8 out of 10. Not the scariest, like, at all. I'm not really scared of things like this. Okay, I want funny comments. I played this too, but I put it back. No, first Mickey and Sonic, now Mario? Thanks for killing all my cells. I know it's scary. I peed my pants. Alright, time to find some more. Okay. Let's see. This one, reading time 11 minutes, but let's see. Let's see, let's see how. I want to know what the ratings are for this one. Oh, if you're wondering what's controlling my mouth, I'm literally clicking to make it so I look like I'm talking. I'm specifically trying to look for short ones. Oh, oh, what's this? Let's see, 2 minutes. Okay, okay. Let's get started with this one. This one is called "Where a Kid Can Be a Kid." When I was a child, my father owned a janitorial company that worked almost every night at our local showbiz pizza place, Chuck E. Cheese. He would often bring me to work with him, so I could play at the arcade games without having to wait in line. He'd even spark up the towering animatronics and let me watch them play their happy birthday songs and other quaint jingles. It was so much fun till the curtains closed and it was dark. A part of me hated not being able to see the fake animals, especially the wolf and big gorilla playing at the keyboard. It would get so dark once all those circus lights stopped undulating, but knowing they were hiding, uh, or is it were hiding behind the curtains severely spooked me. Another part of me was glad I couldn't see them, with their large plastic grins, bulging eyes, blinkless stares that trapped the false joy of their act. Anything that can remain in that happy in the dark, imprisoned by the crimson drapes, and frozen in time until the puppeteer presses go, is just sinister nature. Even the empty arcade, full of fantastic memories of the day past, sits dark, white, and abandoned. There is something very unsettling about a place that can bequeath equal parts joy and dread. When the sun sets and the doors are locked, I'm still thinking about the portal gun from the last story. I've got I've long since taken over my father's company, and we still hold contract for this haunted place. Tonight's the first time I've brought my young son with me to work so he can enjoy the arcade like I once did. My hope is that when my son finally builds up the courage to pull back the curtain, view those plastic beasts, he isn't greeted with the same malevolent stare looked down unnaturally upon me. Oh my god, all these ads. Wait, that's it? That's it? That's the story? It's not even like it it's not even a full story. It's like half a story. It's like the beginning of a story. It didn't it didn't do anything. Okay, time to find another one. Okay, so hold on. This is a little loud for me, so let me. Okay, so let's see. It's time for your imagination to create the rest of the story. Exactly. I'm gonna try to find some like video game specific. Rule 34. No, no, nope, not doing that. Uh, why I will never play another Mario game. Yeah, how long is this one? It's a 16-minute read. Okay, we might be in this one for the long one, but usually the Mario creepypasta ones are really funny. So let's get that one. Probably a flash fiction type story without a plot. Okay. This one is called Why I Will Never Play Another Mario Game. Hold on, this music is needs to be changed. There we go. Why I will never play another Mario game. I am writing this post in hopes that someone can tell me they have experienced something similar. I don't know why I care about that. No matter what anyone says about the situation, will be the same. Oh, this is just a big run-on sentence. Oh my god. Rule 34, the blood was hyper-realistic and kinda sexy. I'm writing this post in hopes that someone can tell me they have experienced something similar. I don't know why I care about that. No matter what anyone says, the situation will be the same, and I will still think I'm losing it. Anyway, I hope everyone would take what I'm saying seriously. Know how it sounds. If I were reading this on sort of random thread on Reddit, I would be skeptical as well. But take everything I say seriously, for everything I'm about to say is 100% true. I go to college on University of Maine. I'm currently going to grad school here, trying to get my PhD in surface sciences. I am very passionate about my science and mainly computers. My first computer was an IBM, an old thing that was revolutionary for the time, that left my 11-year-old mind amazed. In '95, I was really into playing Doom and Wolfenstein 3D when I got home from school. My mom and dad were never really got mad at me because they were always at work, so no one told me to stop playing these violent video games. My love for these violent video games, quote unquote. My love for these games continued through the '90s, they really peaked in the beginning of 1996. I was a typical '90s kid, obsessed with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, fanny packs, mullets, classic horror movies, and even got the stint of time I had. Even for a stint of time, I had a Tamagotchi. Oh, we're getting really '90s here. With the coming of school in the fall of '96 came the sadness of not being able to play video games every day like I did in the summer. However, school did bring the joy of friends. At lunch and sometimes in class, we would talk about games and new releases that would be coming out soon. Back then, we didn't have websites dedicated to video games news. Instead, my friend group relied on Jeff, one of the most wealthy kids in our friend group, who was subscribed to Video Game Magazine's company that sent out an issue once a month. The last day of August, Jeff brought the latest issue. Jeff is so cool. Look how cool Jeff is. Breaks kneecap. Mario is very violent. Is very violent man. Breaks kneecaps. Tamagotchi, very violent. Well, that's true. He said very violent video games. All of us crowded around lunch, all of us crowded around the lunch table to catch a glimpse at the new system that was coming out next month, the Nintendo 64. We all were begging our parents that night to help us with money to get the system. The N64 was an amazing system, as it had 4 megabytes of RAM and could handle 3D graphics like none other before. I had saved a little money from mowing lawns in the summer, but it was not quite enough to buy the console come September 29th of that year. I was disappointed and cried to my parents to help me out, just this once, to buy this great piece of technology. But my family was struggling at the time, and me, being the understanding and caring child, just piped down, hello, happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you, Ultra. A couple of hard months pass, and with them came many complaints and was jeering from my friend group because I still have not received the console. It had been a difficult time for me. My parents were fighting. Oh my god! And I just wanted an escape. Would have given anything for that damn console. I hated going to school and hearing all my friends show off their high scores in the newest games and hearing about them finding secret glitches in the newest installment of our favorite video game. Months after the initial release of September, November rolled around. Not exactly my favorite time of year. I don't like the transition from the pretty orange and yellow fall leaves into roads covered with slick ice and disgusting large piles of snow in the parking lots with dirt in them. However, there was one thing that is worth my time during that dreaded month. My birthday. 12 years old. Birthdays never really made much sense to me. It was just a celebration of the day someone was born, that based on that man-made unit of time that was elongated into years. Anyways, I hadn't really been looking forward to this birthday because I knew that it wasn't going to bring around much. As I said before, my parents had been fighting, and I didn't really expect them to get anything from either of them because they had been so busy working and putting up with each other. That is why I was very, very excited to learn on the 19th of that month in 1996. I came home that night after school to find a letter from my mom, who had always been more caring of the two. Who had been always the more caring of the two. Hi, hun. Oh man, I can't. Okay. Hi, honey. I hope you enjoyed your birthday today. It's the big one, too. Congrats. Anywho, your father and I, as you know, have been having disagreements lately. We were alerted today that there is a program for couples that have been having very similar disagreements. We both agreed that we should look into this, and we both fell in love with the idea. Isn't that great, baby? Anywho, the only problem is that we were made aware that this little short notice that we could have drive south today, so we could be there by tomorrow, Wednesday. The program is going to last a week, and I knew you were our understanding, kind little boy, so I thought, what would be okay to leave you alone until next Tuesday? They're gonna leave a 12-year-old child by themselves? To make up for this, me and your father have decided to give you a little spending money. You can get yourself whatever little toy you want. We do have food in the pantry, but I do want some of that money to go towards food for yourself. Enjoy your weekend, and see you Tuesday. Love you. I didn't know whether to be excited about this freedom or disappointed in my parents for leaving me on my 12th birthday. Either way, I had more than $200 to spend on whatever I wanted. To my puny 12-year-old brain, this was like a godlike amount of money. And I knew exactly what it was going towards right away. I'm sure by now you can assume exactly what I wanted. I took the money out of the envelope, threw it on the windbreaker, threw it on my windbreaker and my old Pro Wings, and hopped on my old red bike, and I named Silver the bike. I started to head east, past my dad's pharmacy, past the school, and past Jeff's house. You know, the cool guy. I didn't really look towards his house. He hadn't been in school that week. I skidded to a top in front of the Finger Gym at our local game store. I parked my bike right next to the big window in front of the store and started to waltz in. I really liked the store and felt good knowing going in, knowing I was finally able to actually get something instead of just glancing around while my friends debated on what new game they should get, or what Magic the Gathering card they should sell. These 12-year-olds are selling Magic the Gathering cards. I did a quick look around the store, eyeing the older NES and Super NES, making my way towards my prize jewel, the N64. I finally put my hands on the box that I had been waiting to touch for a quarter of the year. I held it up to the light so I could read the line under the name. Quote, "The Fun Machine." Damn straight it is! I ran my fingers over the smooth cardboard cover as I started to walk towards the counter. The kid working in the counter laid down his cigarette. It's a kid with a cigarette! In the ashtray that was next to his Rubik's Cube. Now that I think about it, probably wasn't a cigarette. I just assumed it was because it was still small in the middle school. Because I was still a small middle schooler that had a lot to learn. When I got up to the counter, he asked, "Is that all?" I had forgotten to get a game. I responded with a quick no and started to look behind with all the selection of games. Most of the ones that were back there were meant for the Super NES. Makes sense. The N64 had been very popular in America, so of course games would be sold out. I spoke after glancing around a bit more, desperately trying to find a game. "Do you have any N64 games in the back?" The boy took another drag and blew smoke in my face. "Dunno." "Oh, can you please check in the back for me? Please?" Jesus, fine, kid. He got off his stool and started towards the back. He pushed a curtain out of the way and started to search. I looked around the store at plentiful gaming posters and walls lined with board games and models of popular TV show action heroes. The boy returned after less than a minute with a cartridge in his hand. "It's less than a minute, I timed it." We only have one left, looks like." He looked to hand it over, but then pulled back towards him. Wait a second. What do we have here?" He turned the cartridge over to reveal its face, only to be covered by a sticky note. With the words, "Do not, under any circumstances, sell." Now, see here, kid. I've never been much of a rule follower, and this thing has been buried under some stuff in the back. So I don't think anyone will be missing it anytime soon. So he gave me a wide grin to reveal his crooked teeth, layered with yellow grime. "I'm willing to strike a deal with you. I will sell you this game for a couple of extra bucks. My boss probably didn't want me to sell it because it's limited edition or something. So I'll get you this game. Just don't tell nobody. Alright, kid?" Of course, my eager little mind didn't care about what was right and wrong at the moment. There it was, the N64, right in front of my face. For God's sakes, even with a possible limited edition game! So of course I took the grimy kid up on his deal, even though I knew he was going to pocket those few extra bucks. I waltzed out of the store the same way I came in, excited for what was to come about. But only this time it was carrying the N64 in the game instead of $250. Hold up, let me read chat real quick. Uh, Parents leave their kids back then, not really on their birthday though. Maybe the kids would have asked the neighbor to watch the kid instead of just leaving there. Ah, the perfect way to spend Halloween. Okay, where am I? I put the plastic bag into the wire basket that was in front of my bike. I don't know if I raced home faster then or when I went to the store initially. The ride home took 5 minutes. I know, I timed it. I just let my bike drop to the ground after I came to a hard stop in front of my garage. Man, your parents paid for that bike. Don't just drop it. I pounced up the concrete steps leading up to my house. I swung open the door, started to my room. That night, I had a lot of homework, and me being a responsible little boy, I didn't start playing right away. I am a good kid. I do my homework. But that didn't stop me from eyeing over the box and opening it to save the beautiful system from its cardboard prison. I ran my fingers over the wondrously smooth black console like it was the skin of a newborn baby. This is weird for a 12-year-old. I carefully set the console on my dresser and plugged it into my box TV. I led the wire from the infamous M-shaped controller port in front of it. I was smiling through all of this, but I stopped suddenly when I realized I had forgotten something. I didn't even know what game I bought. I quickly but carefully set the controller down on my bed and removed the cartridge from the bag. I ripped off the sticky note to reveal the true face of the game. In multicolored letters read the words, Super Mario 64! Felt like I had won the lottery. It didn't look any different from it than any of my friends' cartridges, so I was a little upset that it wasn't actually special edition. But nonetheless, I was still pumped. Finally, I got what I'd been waiting for so long. I could not wait for the weekend. Could it come any sooner? In the next day, in typical middle school boy fashion, I showed off my new game to my friends and rubbed it into the faces of the others who were not fortunate enough to have the system or game. Those peons. I was in the top of the world for that day just because of that stupid video game. My friends were very happy for me, of course, and we talked about the game and how long it took to beat it. I played with my friends at their house after school and watched them play the game for hours and hours. I didn't want to start to play my own copy yet, because it acted like as an incentive for me to get through the week. But boy, coming home, seeing that thing on my dresser, and glaring at it in the wee hours of the night was mighty tempting. But nevertheless, I persisted. I made it through the whole week. Oh, I remember listening to this one a week ago. Good pick. I'm completely blind. I have not seen this. I have not read this. That Friday, the 2nd of November, I raced home after school to finally play my new game all night. I dropped my bike in front of my house, opened the door and closed it again to lock. Threw off my jacket and hat and finally made my way to my sanctuary. I turned on the TV, slipped the gray cartridge into the slot on top of the machine, Damn! What a feeling. I turned on the system. I saw the N64 3D logo arise from the ripple of some liquid and start to turn. Little 3D Mario running around it. Hold on. Yes, I have played video games before. I'm playing video games. This is about video games. What's in this video game? Shut up, don't ask. Okay. Quick thing, quick cut right here, right? Now, he says 3D Mario, there's a 3D logo, the N64 3D logo, with the N64, with the little ripple coming out, like some sort of liquid, and the little 3D Mario running around it. Fun fact, that is the Nintendo 64 disk drive startup opening, which, so there is actually that, but it's for the Nintendo 64 disk drive, not Super Mario 64. So, fun fact. Anyways, back to the story. The game started, and I finally started to play. I was already familiar with the castle at the start, so I thought I knew what was waiting for me. I made a new save file and started the game, and the camera started to move towards Princess Peach's face. Something was already off. At first, I thought I had just bought a knockoff, a fake game. Maybe that's why it wasn't meant to be sold. At the beginning, it was supposed to be a letter from Princess Peach that read, "Dear Mario, please come to the castle. Baked a cake for you. Yours truly, Princess Toadstool. Peach." With their signature Peach under it. But what appeared to me that Friday, next to Peach's face, was a letter that read, "Dear player, you don't know what you're getting into. Turn off your system now and get help. Yours truly, the previous owner." Ooh, interesting. I forgot about the disk drive. Yeah, that's part of the thing. Okay, that was odd. Oh, how had the previous person changed the text in the game? Either way, at the time I was too excited to play the game. That the mysterious text didn't faze me at all. I just kept going. I ran up to the castle, walked in, and jumped into the first portrait. What, no Lakitu? I watched Mario fall from the sky and landed perfectly on the ground. Toad was waiting there for me to relay information about the level. His speech said, "You will die!" Oh, this is hard. "You will die if you continue! Turn off the game, or I will kill you!" Creepy as hell. But, just as I thought, I just thought that it was some hacker. Hackers. Had the game before me. I had just changed the text because they wanted to scare the kid who had it next. I just kept pressing the main button, until the text disappeared and continued. I was reassured when I found the gameplay had been the same as all my other friends. I jumped around the level, and evaded the mushroom enemies. You mean the Goombas? The same as I'd done before. I made my way around the level, collecting spinning red coins and hopping off trees. Woohoo! I shot myself out of a cannon and flew myself to the top of the mountain to fight the final boss of that level. After that, I was warped back to the starting area in the castle. I made my way through the next few levels, the water levels, the levels on the mountain, the snow. I kept going until I collected 18 stars. I knew where to go for my first fight with Bowser. You don't even need 18 stars, you need 8! I took Mario to the correct hallway, and of course, I wasn't surprised when Mario dropped through the floor, because I had seen it done 1,000 times before. Landed on the rock, and a text bubble appeared. "Welcome to hell?" Huh? That was something new. Must have been something the hacker had put in to scare me again. I jumped around the level and evaded a few flames until I reached the end of my first encounter. Mario's infamous enemy. But then, Bowser turned around. Something else was different. Large turtle dragon hybrid had eyes that looked like black holes The entirety of them were black. Not a single pixel of white was being shown. But I just passed it off again and continued. I beat the boss easily and was warped back to the castle. But in the corner of the screen, right before the scene transitioned to the castle intro, I saw Bowser get up. He moved away towards the edge of the map and shape-shifted into a tall, black humanoid figure. The only thing that the new entity had that resembled the hold on, up, brain dead. My brain is not reading this correctly. The only thing that the new entity had that resembled the original Bowser, the long, pointed teeth protruding from his mouth. It sounds like those fake piracy warnings from last year. The Lakitu skip was the Lakitu skip, the creepypasta game. Yeah, I was freaked out at this point. I was reluctant to get out the map. At first, I thought the game had glitched, but for some reason, hold up. Excuse me. But for some reason, I was in the part of the castle that I shouldn't have been until later in the game. Looking up as far as Mario could see was the endless hallway. Now, I'm sure to some of you know what I'm referring to. You couldn't even access the area without having the right number of stars. Also, those who played the game know that when you walk up the stairs, it seems like they go on forever. Unless you know the backwards jump glitch, or had the right number of stars, of course. I was excited at this point. I had forgotten about the strangeness of the game. Few brief minutes. Made it this far in one day! I would have shown this to my friends so they would know how good I was and how dedicated I am to this game. The only thing that could have made the situation better is if I could actually make it to the top of the staircase. I placed Mario's little foot first step. Started to ascend. After a minute of still climbing the stairs, I was about ready to give up. Then I remembered something. There should be pictures of Bowser on top of the side of the walls leading to the top. But I haven't seen anything. Immediately after I had that thought, I saw the edge of a frame. I jumped up the steps to get there quicker and landed in front of the picture. To my horror, I saw a very familiar image. Sitting on a rock was 6-year-old me with my dog who had died, Lassie. I was very shaken by this. All of a sudden, all of my other excuses for the strange events had held no weight now. This couldn't be explained anyway. Couldn't be explained away. Of course, my curiosity told me to continue. I started ascending again, only to find more familiar pictures. I walked past a plethora of photos, not all of which were all of which were of me and my family. Not only were there photos of themselves familiar, but the order they were hauntingly similar. The ones leading up to the staircase on our second level. Remember, this was very early Saturday morning, around 2 or 3 a.m., so my parents weren't supposed to be home yet. But I swear I heard something in the steps of my outside door. This couldn't be possible. I turned to look, but was greeted by the darkness outside of my room. I looked back towards the screen to continue to play my game. I started to slowly creep back upstairs. While I did that, I heard more noise outside the room. Now I was scared. I dropped the controller and bolted to the door. I grabbed the handle, swung it shut, causing the frame and most of my room to vibrate. I fumbled in the dark with the lock until I heard it click. Pressed my back against the door and let out a deep breath. Mario was still there, waiting for me. Ooh, spaghetti! I I went back to the game, hoping that it was just a restlessness that was getting to my mind. Just wanted to keep playing my game. Just wanted my game in my childhood to be normal like everyone else's. I turned Mario around and started to creep down the stairs in the game. I didn't hear anything on the stairs again. I continued down the stairs, listening to the stairs moan in the game, but not outside my bedroom. Thank God. I was wiping the sleep away from my eyes when I put my controller down for a second or two. I removed my hands and stretched a bit, letting out a long yawn. I opened my eyes to be greeted with Mario staring back at me, but only now his eyes were as black as Bowser's were. I couldn't take this anymore. I brought the stick on my joypad down. I brought the stick on my joypad down so that Mario could get away from that damn staircase. He started walking slower than before, his eyes still dark as night, staring into me. I was gradually started to slow down. I began mashing buttons, trying to get Mario to move just one more inch. He just stood there. Finally, the character brought up his index finger in his hand and shook it. And back and forth along with his head. He then brought the corner of his mouth back towards his ears with this grotesque smile. He opened his mouth to reveal his teeth. Resembled Bowser's. I was beyond trying to convince myself that this wasn't real at this point. Mario turned around and started sprinting up the steps. Along with his steps in the game, I heard pouncing outside my room again. I jumped and went to my bedside. Whatever was outside my room had finally reached the top of the stairs. It stopped. I stood in awe for a few seconds, trying to think of what to do. I started to bang on the door, shaking the frame. Phone. Okay. Where am I? Hold on. Where am I? Okay, I think I went a little bit up. Hold on. Where am I? Steps. Okay. Along with the steps in the game, I heard pouncing outside my room again. I jumped up and went to my bedside. Whatever's outside my room had finally reached the top of the stairs and stopped. I stood in awe for a few seconds, trying to think what to do. I started to bang on my door, shaking the frame, sent splinters on my side. Crouched, crawled under my bed. I looked up to watch the door. Shaking. Whatever was out there kept pounding on the door wall for about 5 more seconds. It stopped. I removed my hands from the front of my face to see what was going on. I looked left, right, saw nothing. Mario has logged in. Yeah. I let out a sigh of relieved breath. I crawled out a bit more, peeked around the corner. I looked at my TV screen to see that Mario was looking in the opposite direction of the game, standing still in front of the final door. Mario put his hand on the door, and at the same time I heard my door creak a little bit. I heard my door creak a little bit. I was so glad that I had locked it. Mario removed his hand and turned to his left. Look at one final portrait. This one was one I was not familiar with. I have not seen it in the game or in my real life. It was a picture of a television set. Mario put his hand through the portrait. It began to ripple like the other portraits previously when he was going to a new level. When he touched it, my TV began to crinkle with static. I could barely make out Mario through the white noise as he removed his hand. Oh no, it's Mario IRL! Um, everything went back to normal. He took a final look. Uh, he took a final look to his left, stared straight into my soul, opened his mouth for another one of those smiles. He shoved himself into the portrait. My TV emitted the loudest static noise I had heard. It then began to ripple and shake. The screen shattering and sparks flew from the back of the set. I didn't have time to see what was crawling out of its remains. I rolled out from under my bed and started towards the window. I ducked down and hit my shoulder against the window. The glass shattered, and the glass shattered, and I flung my body out of my room. As the set continued to spark and set my drapes ablaze. I hit my roof and tumbled down. The last thing I thought about before rolling off and smashing my head against the concrete sidewalk was the snow. It was the first snowfall of the winter, and I had missed watching it because I was too distracted by the game. I woke up that Wednesday in the hospital. I saw my parents and the nurse next to me. They caught me up on everything that had went down. The house had caught on fire for some unknown reason and was done for. We would be living in a hotel for the next few weeks until we found a place to rent. I had a nice long break. I didn't have to go to school for a while because of Thanksgiving break, because of my nasty head injury. I did, of course, have to return to my educational hell about 3 weeks later, for Christmas break, which I had been looking forward to as well. I returned and continued throughout my classes with little to no struggle. Teachers were going easy on me. Who would give a kid whose house burned down? Sustained a head injury, and whose parents were going through a divorce, stressful hours of homework? Returning to school did bring about the joy of my friends' company. However, my friends jumped on me with a ton of questions about my house. I remember nothing. I got questions about my game after that, of course, too. I didn't tell them exactly what happened because I knew they wouldn't believe me. I gave them a short and quick answers so they would stop pestering me. Then, they brought up Jeff. I'll see you later. Take care, Ultra. Thank you for joining the stream. He had been playing the game down in his basement while his parents were away during the week. Wow, child abandonment really seems to be very common in this world. Now, I don't know if this is true. The gang told me Jeff's parents had returned home to find Jeff under the steps leading to the basement, hanging by the cord of his Nintendo 64 controller. They told me that the police told his folks that it wasn't suicide due to his head wounds and gorged out eyes, but it hadn't been ruled out as murder either because there were no signs of struggle. Jeff's dad told me. They told me. What? They told me had sold his N64 and the copy of Super Mario 64 to the Finger Gym to get the reminder out of their house. And that's it. That's the end of the story. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm not gonna lie, reading so much has me a little bit lightheaded. That was a long story. That's the one thing that made me raise my eyebrow at this creepypasta. What the heck's the parents doing? Yeah, there's a lot of like child abandonment in this story. It's really weird. Excuse me. But that was kind of fun. That was a little less funny than the other ones, but it was still pretty good. I want to find some shorter ones, so let's see what I can find. 10 out of 10. I was really spooked. No, it was actually not that bad. It's not the best written story. Obviously, the main character's like, I'm a good little boy, and Jeff is so cool, and look at me in my 90s. Look, 90s, 90s, 90s. I know the 90s. Guys, do you remember Blockbuster? Do you remember VHS tapes? That's kind of how it felt to me. Let me look for some fun one. Trying to find one that's not too long, because the last one was very, very long. Okay, okay, I found one. This one sounds amazing. Okay, this one is called Pokemon Gun version sequel to Don't Play Let's Go Eevee at 3 a.m. What's Don't Play Let's Go Eevee at 3 a.m.? I don't know what that story is, but if it's a sequel, I mean, I'm not gonna look for it. I'm just gonna like read the story and see how it is. So let's look at Pokemon Gun. It already looks horribly uh it already looks horribly paragraphed, so yeah, it's probably really bad. Hello, my name is Steven. I'm 20 on years old, and I really like Pokemon. I had a cousin who was also liked it too, but he died last year. Sad face. His name was George. Anyways, it is my birthday toddy, and I got the newest Pokemon game. It is called Pokemon Sword and Shield. I got the Sword version, so I put the game in my PS5. But when I started playing, the icon on the menu thingy for it was a picture of the blue doggy Pokemon thingy crying hyper realistic blood and hilding a gun! Exclamation points one. I cried for 413 minutes because it was scary. Sad face. Eventually, I accident alt selected the game. Wait, how do you alt select the game with the PS5? And it started playing. I got to the part where you started, and I chose the funny monkey man smiley face. Then I was forced to fight. I was forced to fight a rival guy, but he didn't, and have the sad lizard boy. Instead, he had the tails fring sonic arm, and had the battle music, and was "Can you feel the sunshine?" I tried to use tackle on it, but it missed, and the game said Tails doll used gun. And I saw it take out an AK-47, and it shot my Grookey to death, and then I cried for 11,037 hours straight. Oh, I'm getting lightheaded. Oh my god, this is amazing. I was sad because BC, I liked my funny monkey boy, but now he's dead. He dead. Like D dead. The game said I blacked out, and then it cut to me in a basement. It looked around the vase but and I ran into a Pokemon, but not really. I got into a battle with Ben drowned for himself. It's himself. My guy sent out a ghost from Lavender Ton, and Lavender Town theme played, and I screamed because I have the irrational fear of the Lavender Town theme. Them Ben Drowned said, "You shouldn't have done that." And I screamed again. The ghost only had one mauve called Glock. And I selected A.D. The ghost took alt a Glock and shot Ben Drowned to death. And I won the battle. When the battle was over, I saw the champion Leon dude standing there menacingly with the JoJo sound effects near him. And says, "Oh buddy, you gonna die today." And for some read-on, I said out loud, "Not if I kill you first, angry smiley face nice." Then I got into a battle with him, and he sent out the corpse of my Grookey. It was covered in super realistic blood. I killed it easily with the ghost Glock move, and he sent out an Eevee that was holding a gun and seetling hyper-realist blood. My ghost and the Eevee had a shootout until my ghost, because one BC ghost can't get shot, and the battle ended with Lean Dude said, "Stupid, stupid, 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 stupid," and then he took off the mask that the was wearing to reveal that he was actually the Leon guy from Dang It Grandpa. I suddenly heard my mom calling me for dinner. We were having burgers that night. So I decided to stop playing the game. So I reached to turn off my Xbox Series X. But right as I touched off the button, Leon said, Killer Queen has already touched the off button. Killer Queen." And my GameCube exploded. And then I died. Rest in spaghetti, never forgetting me. And I died before I ate my burger. The end. Oh my god, I'm lightheaded. Oh my god. Oh, that was so awful. Oh my god. I could barely understand what I was reading. Holy cow. Oh my god. That was beautiful. Oh, that was wonderful. Oh my god. I love how he started playing Pokemon on the PS5. And then when he stopped playing, it was the Xbox Series X that he was able to alt-tab out of. And then his GameCube randomly exploded. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Let's see if I can find Sonic.exe. Actually, 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 no. Sonic.exe is an 18-minute read, and the last time I read a long story was a 12-minute read, and I was exhausted. I am not reading that story. I could animate this if I would. Oh my god, that would be beautiful. You can like maybe not go full animation, like maybe do like storyboard animation. By all means, use my narration. I 100% approve if you would do that. Oh my god. Use my narration. Oh, that's so good. Okay. Let's see if I can find another bad creepypasta. Oh my god, I'm like sad that I did not bring. That is a future project for me. Then. Okay. No, I don't. I don't want good creepypastas. Give me some bad ones. Look. Okay, I'm gonna say this up straight, right? Just because it's a creepypasta does not mean it's automatically bad. If you've ever read, I forget his name, Ted the Caver, I think that's the name. It's one of like the first creepypastas to ever exist. It's actually like really, really, really good. So it's like just because something is a creepypasta doesn't mean it's not quality. It just means that spooky campfire stories. It's sort of why I have uh, the it's not a campfire, but it's a I forget what they're called. It's the fireplace. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Oh my god, that story. That story was so bad. Yeah, I've read a bunch that are really good. Yeah, no, I'm telling you that the creepy pastas. There are some really, really, really good ones. Oh, there's some troll pastas. Those are fun. There is. See, close your eyes. Is that that's probably a bad one. See how long that one is. This one's pretty long. I don't want to. I don't want to read something that's super long. Also, let me check the music real quick. Yes, I am watching. Oh my god. I'm still. I'm still. I'm still out of breath. Holy cow. Scary Dora? Hold on, hold on, hold on. Let's see. Is it Dora the Explorer? Is it short? I think it's short. Okay. So this is a troll pasta, so if it gets sometimes troll pastas get a little bit too like um grotesque in certain like not in like in a blood way, but kind of like in a sexual way. I'm not gonna go anywhere near that. So uh, don't worry. This is a clean channel. Okay, so um, this is called Scary Dora. Now I don't know if this is Dora the Explorer, um, but we'll see where this goes. One night, I was browsing YouTube with my friend looking for some random videos. I was looking at some rant video when I clicked on the link to a channel called Scary Dora. The picture was a strange version of Dora with the. I'm gonna assume it's Dora the Explorer with a completely blank expression and dull eyes. It was only one video. It's titled "Where's the Chapstick 4 a.m. Freestyle?" I clicked it, not knowing what I was in for. It started off with a creature that resembled a bear, with human-like feet, and in armholes. Wait, with human-like feet in the holes of a red hoodie. It sat there for about 5 seconds before standing up with the girl coming in frame. They began to perform a strange ritual, with a weird song faintly playing in the background. I began to feel uncomfortable as my friend stopped talking. The girl's face then came to frame, revealing the face of Dora. I shouted and punched my monitor, but I pressed on out of curiosity. Strange bear creature began to fall over and get back up constantly, with the Dora girl waving her hands around down the ground at the ground. The creature then hit itself against the wall, but it somehow survived the blow. And the girl was chanting, not even paying attention to the possible injury of this thing. The creature began to chant what sounded like otherworldly language before jumping up and smacking its feet together. The girl then fell on her back before, spreading her legs and smacking them together like the creature did. Okay. They both stayed on the ground performing the ritual. The creature rolled on its back, revealing human flesh under the clothes. I was terrified at this point. The two creature then lowered their heads and began to cry, before the girl put her face on the screen and cried, ending the video. When I went to my history and cleared it, and went back to Skype to tell my friend what had just happened. And the call ended. I looked at the chat, which showed nothing but me calling him and sending him a picture that had just finished downloading. The image, then viewed in the Windows photo viewer, showed my friend hanging from a noose, with a hyper-realistic image of the bear creature with the words, "Where is your god now?" Fortnite is good. I'm reading the comments. What? No, where is the chapstick? Okay, that was like a little less trolly than I expected it to be. Okay, so I got maybe one more story in me. I'm gonna keep it nice and short. Not go too long, and maybe rest my voice. Ooh, a haunting Mario cartridge. How long is this one? Not that long. Okay. Okay. All right, let's get going with this one. I was walking down the street one day when I saw there was a garage sale going on. I don't usually go to garage sales, but I decided to go see if I could find anything interesting. When I was looking around, I noticed a strange NES cartridge. The cartridge looked very old and had a Super Mario sloppily written on with Sharpie marker. This thought was this was interesting, and decided. Hold on, where am I? Sorry, I looked at chat for this. Um. Okay. This thought this was interesting and decided to get to it. If I could get it, he said, "Please, I don't want it. Take it for free." I thought this was generous. I got home and took out my old NES, set it up, put the cartridge in. The first thing I noticed was the title screen music was distorted. When I got to the first level, it was completely empty, with no enemies or blocks in sight. Eventually, I found a pipe that said, "Jump in to die." I got curious and jumped in. Big mistake. I jumped in and I saw a bunch of low-quality pictures of what looked like mutilated people. With the text that says, "You're next." I could hear a bunch of heart-wrenching screams. After that, I was transported back to the first level. But after after that happened, I saw another figure on the screen. It looked like Mario, but black with red eyes. He looked up to Mario and jumped on him. When he did, blood and guts flew everywhere on the screen. There was also the text that says, "I am coming for you." At this point, I had enough to look at the. I had enough. I looked at the cartridge out and took out a baseball bat and smashed it. After that, I buried it into the wood near the woods. I had a lot of nightmares after that. So here's my warning: if you see the cartridge, please don't play it, or else you'll have the same horrible experience that I did. 8-bit blood and guts. All right. There's that was a haunting Mario cartridge. That was really really good. Hmm. Yeah. I'm trying to like to see if I can find maybe one last Game Boy Advance SP Blue Edition. Okay. Yeah, that should probably be it. I'm trying to see if there's any other thing I can probably find. Let's see. Hold on. Oh no, not the 8-bit blood and guts. Okay, one more story. This is going to be the last one, okay? This will be the last one. This one's called A Bug's Life. Deleted scene. Has anyone heard about this old Pixar movie, A Bug's Life? It's a movie about an ant named Flick who teams up with a team of circus insects to fight a band of evil grasshoppers led by a hopper, an evil, greedy grasshopper who only wants food from the ants. I watched it. I watched it a couple of years ago and pretty much enjoyed it. However, one incident left me shocked for my entire life. In 2007, I found a VHS tape on the ground while I was walking home after a day of swimming practice. It said, "Don't watch Pixar. Confidential tape." Popped into my VCR. The tape. Tape started with the static for 5 minutes. The scene was the near-ending climax of the movie, A Bug's Life, where Hopper cornered Flick into the bird's nest. The scene was violent. As an example, was Hopper choking Flick with Flick coughing. The bird sees Hopper doing a... What's it? Hopper... The bird sees Hopper doing a dreadful deed. Thinking this trick with the blueberry Scott's insides Hopper immediately realized he was shot. The bird roared at him, but the war was Godzilla's war, and it was extremely loud. I turned down the volume, but I could hear the deafening roar. Hopper screamed as he walked out, but the bird caught him. As Hopper was almost going to die, the bird stabs him with the beak and carries him into to his babies. Somehow, Hopper is still alive. He was screeching for help. Instead of carrying Hopper down, the bird immediately drops Hopper to its babies. The screen cuts to a black, and I could hear blood-curdling screams. Soon, an image of Hopper appeared on the screen. Hopper was dead. His left eye was crossed, and his other eye was dangling from the socket. His mouth started leaking blood, and his wings were ripped out. One of his arms were ripped out as well. The music playing was Lavender Town from Pokemon Fire Red! What the Fire Red version wasn't even the scariest time. I tried lowering down the volume. The remote I had no batteries. I tried asking for help, but I was alone. The screen turned black, and then a message appeared saying 1995, Pixar Animated Studios. The tape popped out of the VCR, and I popped it to back to get the game some footage. Hold on. The tape popped out of the VCR, and I popped it back to get some footage. I loaded the footage to YouTube, and I ended up selling the tape to eBay, where it is out there somewhere, where someone now can buy and watch this disturbing tape. Once upon a time, when I was a fully grown little boy. I wanna hold on. Maybe one last one if I can find this one. Okay. So this one's actually a meme from, if you watch the channel Oni Plays. This is a creepy quote creepypasta made by them, and I'm gonna read it just as how I kind of remember it. It's incredibly funny, and I love it. Right, but if you want an actual better reading of that, there's an animated version, and there's the actual original narrated version that you can watch. But for the purposes of this, I'm going to share this because I just find it really funny. I really love that story. So, yeah, here it is. This is the narration. This is my specific reading of this. So, here we go. Also, I'm going to be doing dumb voices because I would try to do voices like I heard in the thing. It all started 53 years ago, back when I was a fully grown little boy. One day, while I was jumping through the street, I happened upon a large vehicle, which clobbered me violently into a nearby window. After getting my bearings, I looked up to see a young boy with a Game Boy Advance SP Blue Edition. His tiny little hands. I'd always dreamed of owning a Game Boy Advance SP Blue Edition. My family could barely afford gold. He looked up at me with those big, vibrating eyes. His two lower teeth quivered in confusion. "Mamma mia," he said softly. This was my chance. I ran at him, screaming, stomping my feet, scrambling his brain in sheer confusion. I shoved him as hard as I could and grabbed his Game Boy Advance SP Blue Edition and I ran out the door. I leaped back down the street towards my home, and I pulled open the door by its big, smelly handle and let myself in quietly. I snuck past my many parents and shut myself into my room. I had made it. Finally! Game Boy Advance SP Blue Edition. Oh, Game Boy Advance SP to call my own. I will have to keep it hidden from my family. I shouldn't ever allow them to know. I took my Game Boy Advance SP in my small, beautiful hands and proceeded to slide the switch to on mode. I will never forget that beautiful sound it made the first time I turned it on. Woo! And and that wonderful Nintendo logo splashed my screen in sheer delight. I blew out my candle and pulled my curtain shut tight. I wanted absolutely nothing to get away from my first Game Boy Advance SP Blue Edition experience. Suddenly, a small man appeared on screen. Shortly after, the word Mario started flashing behind him. I assume this is the man known as Mario. I had seen adverts showing him on television. The title of the screen slowly lowered himself from the top of the screen. Super Mario in the Legend of the Stolen Game Boy Advance Display Blue Edition? My heart sank. I noticed a dead pixel in the lower left region of the screens. Beggars can't be choosers, I thought myself, however, and I pressed the start button with my fingy. A vast landscape with clouds, bushes, and bricks appeared before my very eye. And there he was, the familiar Mario man I had grown to enjoy. I pushed the left button. Mario himself dashed to the left. Just between his silly brown shoes filled the air. Amazed by his speed, I quickly pushed right to test his turning abilities. I was not disappointed, as Mario changed direction in a matter of seconds. I learned the other button functions as I played. B allowed Mario to dash at high speeds, similar to my own. A allowed him to leap so high in the sky, I screamed in fear. Perhaps, maybe he wouldn't come back down. Yet he always did, which engaged me in the game world even further. I quickly grasped the concepts of the jumping large gaps, avoiding enemies, and climbing big flagpole at the end of each level. I got to the 4th level without much problems. I looked into a nearby mirror and smiled at myself with one eyebrow and said loudly, Hold on. Okay, music was changing, sorry about that. Does this game think I'm not good? I can handle anything that throws my... Suddenly, the screen turned black. And I don't mean black, I mean so black the screen could look like a deep hole. I said out loud, "Is this holes I see before me?" And it echoed like a hole. I wipe a large chunk of sweat from my flopping brow. That was weird, I thought with a big bubble next to my head. The level loaded, but this time it took a lot longer. Mario stood in place, so I pushed right as he began running. And then I noticed the graphics were getting all jumbly. Also, the music was becoming less like the Mario theme, da 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 da, and more like burp 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 burp. I was nearing the first gap of the stage to jump over. As I drew closer, I readied my sweating pig thumb over the A button. The gap was there. It was here. I pushed the button, but Mario didn't jump. He just screamed, "Oh!" I pushed left as far as I could, and he grounded to a halt right at the edge of the gap. I pushed A frantically, repeating to try to make him jump, but he just screamed, "Ah, oh!" The camera zoomed on my face as I tried to pummel the A button, trying to make Mario feel the air above his body. But all that's filled were the air where my friend Mario screams of fear. I said, "No more!" I pulled the cartridge from the Game Boy Advance SP and I threw it out of my window. It landed in some mud outside and I laughed as I closed my window. I turned around and I saw the cartridge was back in my Game Boy. Mud oozed from its cartridge slot. I gasped and said to myself, "No, it cannot be!" The Game Boy turned himself back on. Mario's face appeared with hyper-realistic skin pores and bloody, trapped lips. He spoke softly. "You stole my Game Boy, human. Now I, Mario of Nintendo of America Incorporated, curse you forever! Ha ha!" I screamed aloud, the louder than an eagle of the night. There must be some way to undo this curse. I decided the only way to rid of myself from this curse to beat the game. I ran up to the first gap in Mario. The first gap of the level. I pushed the A, and Mario just screamed again. Woo! I fell into the hole, and Mario lost a life. This is when I noticed my skin to begin to rot and turn slightly green. "What on earth is happening, Mario?" I asked Mario. "Every life you lose, I will make you rot! Ha! Ha! Ah!" I asked, "How can I beat the game with only the screams? I cannot jump past gaps by screaming." He says, "F you," Mario said quietly. He screamed, "Oh!" I decided not to beat the game in fear of rotting. Decided I was going to do the right thing. I ran out of my room, pushing my feeble mother out of my way in the hallway. I ran down the street to the old boy's house. Thunder bellowed, and rain pitter-pattered on my crying face. Finally, I reached the house. I leaped to the boy's window and let myself in. The room was dark. "Boy!" I cried out. "Boy, are you there?" I turned the light switch. The room lit up. I saw many people dressed in black. They all cried softly. Who the flip are you people?" I asked with the tears running down my chinny chin. "We are this boy's family," the woman replied. "I was his mother." She pointed into the center of the room where the small white coffin was suspended over a hole. My heart sank. "Is this your boy inside this box?" "Inside that box?" I asked. "Is my rival raised?" Oh, I asked with an eyebrow raised and my finger on my chin. "Yes, a crazed person broke into our home, ravaged our son, and stole his childhood by killing him." Everything went slow. I dropped in my knees. I held the Game Boy slightly and clenched my fist. Could this be my fault? I asked myself politely. His mother walked over to me with a big fat tear in her eye. She told me, "It really means a lot that a stranger would let himself into our home to pay respects to a boy he didn't know. I'm sure you two would have gotten along great." She then pointed to the priest and said, "Please lower our own child into the earth now." The priest just did that. He pulled on the lever with the shiny red ball on it, and the coffin started going down. I shoved the mother from me, and I sprinted towards the coffin. I jumped on that coffin, and the rope snapped. I began falling into the earth with the child inside. The earth, I heard the screams from his family echoing above. I pried open the coffin as we fell, and I shoved the Game Boy into his tiny, cold mouth. Free me from this cursed child! I screamed at the top of my head. I noticed that we weren't hitting the bottom, and the darkness in this hole reminded me of the dark I saw in the Game Boy. Could this be what I saw before? From the darkness, floating black and white, Mario appeared to me. He said, "In this hole, you shall fall in with the dead body of a child!" Ha ha! And then he Gaussian blurred away. This is what I get for stealing, I guess. I said as I shrugged. Suddenly, Mario appeared again. He said, "Wow, it seems like you learned your lesson. You now free. Bye." He clicked his mustache, and I was back in my room. I looked over at my bed, and the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance the Game Boy Advance SP Blue Edition was gone. My mother opened the door, and she said, "My son, my beautiful son, I make you eggs on toast." And she threw it on my bed and left it with a smile on her face. I realized maybe stealing not okay. I looked to the sky and I said, "Thank you, Mario," inside Game Boy. Everything would be alright. And I thought though the child remained permanently dead, his mother could always play his Game Boy Advance SP Blue Edition to remember him by. Thanks to me. And that's the end of the story. Oh my god, I am dying. That story is a classic. I love that story. Yeah, my voice is dying. I've been reading too much. Yeah. Well then. I'm glad. Well, how did you all enjoy the the creepypastas, the creepypasta story time? I hope you all enjoyed that whatever that was. But yeah, thank you all so much for enjoying or for staying with me on this spooky night of Halloween. What a beautiful story! Oh, yeah, it was beautiful. Funny enough, I was kind of like able to remember for the most part how the story was. Treat yourself to a tall glass of water. I'm sad that I didn't have water with me. I'll drink a lot of water after that. But yeah, I kind of like remembered some of the delivery from that story because it was on YouTube. Again, you can go ahead and find the original reading, and there's also the animated version of that, which I also recommend, of that story. They were perfect for All right. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining. I also hope you enjoyed this these little I forget what they're called, distills. I made them like literally like like 30 minutes before I started doing the stream. Oh, I'm so sorry for all that. Anyways, but yeah, next stream, I'm gonna take a break for the next stream. I'll see what I can do next stream. I still eventually have to finish Silent Hill, but I'm gonna wait a little bit before I finish that. I want to move on to some other games. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining the stream. And yeah, it really means a lot. So have a good rest of your Halloween, and I will see you all next time. Bye.